back, everyone, to part 7 of What If Naruto had a devil fruit, the Kage Kage no Mi edition. Part 7, The Shadow of the Shukaku, as I titled it. Do I want... Yeah, I might as well address. Someone brought up a comment in the last video that, look, I do understand where they came from with the comment, because it was basically addressing why the devil fruit, how the devil fruit existed in the world of the Naruto story, that the fruit had always somehow existed. Their argument was more or less that if that fruit always existed, then by all accounts, all devil fruit in theory should have existed, or at least this one did, and it would have come from the God tree and the chakra tree, and therefore everyone should theoretically know about it, including Orochimaru. I didn't go that route, obviously. Yes, this fruit existed, and I did go with the idea that maybe stories of this fruit or fruit like it existed. But that... I'm trying to say this without sounding like I'm being a dick or anything like that. I feel like that's just reading a little too much into it. And now, their argument was it could just popped out from another dimension. Well, while the other dimensions do exist in Naruto, you don't always need it to be something that's precise. It can just be that this single fruit existed. It's gone from person to person here or there now and then, and it just found its way to Naruto. And for beyond that, it doesn't necessarily have to exist from the chakra tree. There's nothing that says it does. It could be something completely separate from the chakra tree, or at least something that's far enough removed from it that it would not have been like directly a fruit from the tree, because the tree bears fruit. They're very specific fruit, but it bears fruit. So yeah, I don't know. I get where they were coming from with the comment, and in the future, maybe I'll try to be a little bit more precise with explaining the origin of a thing that doesn't necessarily exist in Naruto, existing in Naruto. I just also feel like sometimes we as fans, and I'm not calling you out or anything like that. I'm just saying, because you're not the only one who's done it. More than enough people have done it. I just feel like sometimes we, and I do it too, we overanalyze things sometimes. So that's just, the only reason I brought it up is because it was actually a fair comment. It's a fair comment. Maybe I should probably think about being a little bit more precise when I do videos like this again. So anyway, I digress. Last time on the Naruto What If, Naruto and Sakura had made it save Sasuke's ass against Gaara going rampaging after the Chunin exams were pretty much null and void. Although Shikamaru probably would still get Chunin at this point because his fight still happened. Sasuke is tired out. Naruto is trying to square off with Gaara, but unfortunately, even with his shadow, Gaara right now is definitely a little bit above Naruto in terms of power. At this moment, mind you, because he's already in a pseudo Jinchuriki state. In fact, even though the only reason Naruto was able to overwhelm him in the original fight is because he outsmarted him. And then he was overwhelming him with numbers. Yeah, Naruto does have everything he had at his disposal in that fight, plus his shadow abilities. That doesn't mean he technically overwhelms Gaara right now, though. But point being is that Naruto does square off with Gaara for a little bit. They clash, but Gaara's like, hey, you're not going anywhere! And he still manages to slam the sand into Sakura, causing her to be stuck to the tree and nearly knocked out, too. I can't actually remember. Did that knock her out cold? Or was she just kind of like in such a weak state she was more or less just like, I think that knocked her out cold. And it was just slowly crushing her. At this point, Naruto's now like freaked out. It's like, Sakura! It's like, you're not going anywhere! Throws Shukaku throws his arm at him, elongated. Naruto disappears with his shadow. Tries to basically break Sakura out of the prison. Or, it's not a prison, it's a binding, the sand binding she's in, trying to break her out of the sand. But that's like that sand, I think was like, I don't think they describe how tough it really was. It was a lot tougher. It was like actually hitting like really hard rock. That's how tough that sand really got, because it's compressed sand. and it's just compressing further and further, which means it was actually getting tougher and tougher the more it compressed. Shukaku again blasts Naruto, blasting him back to Sasuke, who then gets the speech like, "Go, get Sakura out of here. If I die here, it just means it's as far as I was come. I will not let my comrades die." Naruto sees Sasuke standing up for what he believes in, standing up for his friends, and that inspires him. Look out! And then just powers up his chakra. Just, gets right. Let's do this! Shadow Clone Jutsu! And Naruto rushes in, makes a bunch of shadow clones. Not the massive amount he does afterwards, but like 5, 6, 7. It's like, you will not be able to stand in my way, Naruto Uzumaki! Comes in, but again, swapping places with the shadow. Now they're doing it like constantly. Now they're just all of a sudden Naruto comes in, just Naruto ninja arts, Uzumaki shadow barrage, and then shadow clones hit Gaara. Again, there's only like 6 or 7 of them right now. It's like, you think you can stop me? Nothing stops me! Just like does like the spike like armor kind of thing, like the spikes just and instead popping a bunch of the clones. Naruto though still manages to come in and smack him with a giant shadow of an arm. Just his arm just comes in, moves. It's attached to Naruto. One of the things I think Naruto learns kind of uses our shadow like pseudo armor. Again, how durable the shadow is, I'll double check that after this video is done. How durable the shadow is, I'm still not 100% convinced on. Because it's impervious to physical harm because it's a shadow. But that doesn't mean like it's physical. It can interact with the physical world. So it can be physical, but on its own, is it just like intangible? Or I don't know. I have to double check on that. For now, we're going with the idea that it's still kind of intangible. But with more control and training, Naruto can make it actually have a true physical form. So when it takes a hit, it's like boing, like it's almost like rubber then at that point. Right now, not quite, but because Naruto is focusing on offense, he is allowing it to interact with the physical world and basically causing a giant shadow fist. Which, should note, because of the amount of shadows Naruto has consumed, or his shadow has consumed, Naruto, he's basically releasing all the control he has on his shadow to keep it at a uniform size to make it this giant fist that just whams into Gaara. Gaara goes flying back with just, is that the best you can do? And then which Naruto's got a hand sign. No, this is. All of a sudden, Gaara hears, tss, and what the clones were actually doing was a variation of what he did in the original, where in the original he just stuck the kunai up his ass, like, oh, great, an enema, with an explosive tag. Here, those clones were placing tags all over Gaara. And Gaara was so laser focused on Naruto, the core one, he didn't notice. Massive explosions. And Gaara even pointed out, he hit me, he didn't wound me, but the sand wasn't able to absorb all the impact. Which, I'm guessing, I've heard that, I've relived that, not relived, but I keep hearing that sentence in my head every time he says, like, wait, the sand was at its weakest at the base, but you weren't wounded, but it didn't absorb the impact. So what does that mean? You clearly felt it, and you clearly were not 100% after that. My guess is what he means by it didn't wound him. He didn't experience any shrapnel, burns, or scrapes or anything like that. He didn't experience a technical physical wound. But because it didn't absorb all the impact, he just got a giant concussive wave to his body. So he was completely disoriented. I think that's what he meant. Because that's the only way that sentence makes sense in my head. But I don't know. What do you think about that sentence? Anyway, Gaara is, because the stand's a lot thicker all over his armor, theoretically he can take more of the impact, but he took like 6 or 7 explosions at once. So he's kind of in a similar state here, maybe even a little more effed up, just like, you. And then all of a sudden Naruto makes the massive amount of shadow clones he does. Uzumaki! Uzumaki, whatever, 1,000 barrage, or 1K shadow barrage, something like that. And so they come in, and Gaara not only knows that he is going to, he does the everywhere shuriken as well. Shadow shuriken, whatever you want to call it. Basically, he does a more advanced version of what he did in the original, and just blasts into Gaara, who's now down on the ground and actually hurt now. And he's just sitting there, like, here we come! And then obviously he has the vision. Not to him. No, not him. There's no way I'm gonna lose to a guy like him. And Gar snaps. Blah! Even with all the shadows there, the clones are poofed out of existence because you got this massive monster of sand forming. Naruto has to backtrack saying, no way! You are amusing, so I'll thank you with a quick death. No! And the shadow's doing its best, but the shadow, even Naruto's making his shadow as big as possible, trying to offset it. He's doing his best, but unfortunately, as strong as this devil fruit is, every devil fruit has its limitations. Even like say the gum fruit with like Gear 5, Joy Boy, all that. Even that's got limitations to it. I'd have to think what those limitations are. But everything has limitations to it. Unless you're Saitama, in which case you technically have no limitations. You just need to be able to continue to break the limits that you have. Or Superman who I'm not going to go into that. I was about to say, or Superman who has the writers up at his back. So, yeah, I've been on record saying I don't like how Superman is written. That, you know what? And I've said it over years. Real side tangent, not even tangent, just quick side note. That's my problem with Superman. It's not even that he's overpowered. Because Goku, by all accounts, is overpowered to many degrees. Or other characters are overpowered in their own world. It's the fact that the writers, I don't like how the writers write him. I don't like how the writers write him. Not as a personality, that's fine. Yeah, it's good to have good characters like that. And I mean morally good. What I mean is, when you have a character that powerful and you just keep adding on to it, that stops making him interesting to me. I digress. So, Naruto's just struggling, and he sees Sakura there, I can't even remember the actual hand sign name, but summoning Jutsu! Boom! When there's Naruto with a shadow, like the shadow Naruto standing by him with Gamamuto. What are you doing here? This will be no problem. What do you say, Chief Toad? You want to join me? Take a hike. What? Why should I bother getting involved with a guy like that? Messing with a guy like that? Come on! Didn't you say you're your loyal henchman? Isn't it your job to help out your loyal henchmen, or isn't that your solemn duty? I can't remember exactly how Naruto put it, but we haven't even sealed the deal yet, have we? I'm too young to be making a deal. You really are amusing. It's like, fine, we gotta save him. Because Naruto probably did summon Gamikichi at this point too. It's a little girlfriend. Interesting. All right, hold on. But he's so heavy, I barely made that cut. And so, not bad. Not bad! I will reward you by showing you the true manifestation of the sand. Play possum jutsu. He's done it. And so Shukaku comes out to play. I'm finally free! Let's do this! And they're going toe-to-toe. That kind of hurt. A couple of more of those, and even I'll be in trouble. And so we've got to be able to wake him up. Conjure something with teeth and claws! And Naruto's trying to use his shadow. Shadow actually isn't really helping in this case. Not that part of the shadow ability, anyway. So he still summons the fox. Naruto gets in. But unfortunately, because the shadow comes and Shukaku's already paying attention to the shadow, so he just blasts Naruto back again. It's like, darn it, no! And Shukaku point blank air blasts Gamamuta in the face. Keep going, kid! Naruto just looks at him and is like, do I risk it? And Shukaku's like, I'm gonna kill everything! It's like, Naruto brings his shadow. And because the shadow is much bigger than him, I think I said it was like 20 or 30 feet tall. Let's say 30 for the max. He grabs him and says, what are you doing? And just one giant cut. Just, and Naruto cut Shukaku's shadow. Now, hold on this. So Shukaku immediately was like, what did you do? And then all of a sudden, the sand starts to kind of burn and turn. That actually is a cool concept because you burn in the sunlight when you lose your shadow due to the Kage Kage no Mi. But because it's sand, I guess what would happen is it starts to heat up and turn into glass. And this causes Shukaku to just disappear. And Gaara is forced away. Just, what is happening? And all of a sudden, he realizes he's in a nearly solid glass statue of Shukaku. What did you do, Naruto Uzumaki? What did you do? Excuse me. And, Shukaku's shadow obviously goes into his shadow, and the size it just grows huge, but it's going haywire, and Naruto actually has to recede his shadow, and Naruto's just, oh, what the heck is, he's not feeling great after that. But Naruto needs to keep focusing. I just need give me some chakra. And then Fox gives a little bit of chakra. He roars a bit about it too, like, you stupid brat. It's like, I don't have time for this. And they rush in. Gaara still has a little bit of sand left, so he's still able to catch Naruto. But if my body right here is Shukaku's head, and Gaara, I think, is like the equivalent of my hand on his head. No, let's see here. Let's say the screen is Shukaku's head. I think, based on what I remember, Gaara is like the size of maybe like my 2 fingers here. He's only got maybe like a 5 to 10 foot radius of sand left on Shukaku's head. But point, it's still enough to grab Naruto. He just boom cracks him or headbutts him, and then they square off and they have their final clash. Naruto and him had their heart to heart about loneliness and about, it's almost painful, isn't it? That fear, that loneliness of being alone. I get that. I was like you, but I found some people who accepted me, people who saved me from my loneliness. But, Kankuro and Tamara show up, and Sasuke Sakura's fine. That's a relief. And he passes out. Now, everything else goes the same for the remainder of this part of the story. The third still gives his life. Orochimaru's arms are taken away, and they need a new Hokage. But the end of this episode takes place not in the outside world, but within Naruto's mindscape. As Naruto suddenly finds to awake in his mind, and he hears screaming in his head. Like, let me out! Will you shut up? Shut up! Easy for you to say, you dumb fox! And Naruto's walking. And in his head is Shukaku. Granted, Shukaku, unlike Kurama, is not in a seal. So what the hell happened here? Now, this was something when I realized I could do this. I'm like, okay, how is this going to work when it comes to Tail Beast? Remember, the idea of the Kage Kage no Mi is that the shadow is connected to your spirit and your soul, and it's a universal law that is not supposed to be broken, but the Kage Kage no Mi can break that. And basically, when you steal someone's shadow, usually, first off, they slip into a coma. It's actually not a permanent effect, the coma, though. You can come out of the coma. But you can't be in the sunlight, at least not for a little while afterwards. Even then, when you're in the sunlight, even if it's been a while, you can't last very long in the sunlight. You'll still burn. It's going to be a lot slower, and it weakens you. But if you're in the sunlight immediately, you just burst into flames and you're dead. Which makes this which in the Naruto world, where instant kills are beneficial, makes it a really good instant kill. But how does that work on a tail beast? Remember, tail beasts are just giant creatures of chakra. They are pieces of the 10 tails. And so because chakra is spiritual and physical energy, how does that work? And I racked my brains like, does he just flat out kill Shukaku? And I thought of that. I'm like, no, he doesn't. I don't think that would kill a tail beast. They're too powerful for that. But would it seal Shukaku within Naruto? Well, no, it wouldn't seal Shukaku in Naruto because you're only stealing the shadow. You're only stealing a part of them. And so then I thought to the Nara clan and how using their shadow jutsus actually work. If I remember correctly, it's using Yang Chakra, if I'm not mistaken. Shadow Possession Jutsu. Hold on, I'm going to check that one out again. Shadow Possession Jutsu. Okay, which one does that? What user has the ability to cut that? Okay, does it? I'm trying to remember. Does it use Yin or Yang? Let's see. Yin. It uses Yin. And if I'm remembering correctly, is it the Yin part of Kurama or the Yang part of Kurama that was sealed in Naruto? I need to double check this because this is very important for what we're doing right now. Yin Kurama. Kurama. Was that the one sealed in Naruto or was that the one sealed in Minato? Let's see here. Kurama, Yin Yang. Okay, hold on. Kurama backstory. Where does they say Minato sealed herself? Okay. Victory of Madara, wife of Minato. Come on, where does it say? Soon after third Kage made special arrangement for Nato. Where did they say he sealed the fox? Contracts. Okay, freed. Prepared tail beast spot. Restrained Kurama, planning to seal the fox back inside her, so he die. Oh, this came up with a plan. It means to save him because Kurama's stronger. Okay, he sealed the yin half with himself. The yang half's the one that's in Naruto. Okay, I always forget that part. Which one's in Naruto? So it's the yang one that's in Naruto, whereas it's the yin part in Minato. But because yin is connected to shadow release, what I ultimately determined was if you were to theoretically steal a tail beast shadow with this jutsu, you would steal the yin half of their chakra. So, and now that being said, the yin half with himself, the yin Kurama, I gotta remember how, because the yin Kurama is theoretically more, easier to work with, but I think he's also the more manipulative of the two, hypothetically. He's not necessarily all good or goody two shoes or anything like that. It's the fact that because their personalities are still basically the same, it's the fact that in terms of like the way their behavior is different. Granted, Naruto's not an idiot. He's not going to. Well, okay, he's an idiot, but not an idiot when it comes to the tail base. He's not going to like fall for anything Shukaku tries. It's like what? It's like what? So basically, yeah, what happened was he just stole half of Shukaku. Now, granted, half of a tail beast is still another half of tail beast. Gar still has it, but now Gar, we'll get the Gar later on in the series. But Naruto walked in and he sees Kurama just yelling, and he sees Shukaku. And you're the one who took me, aren't you? You took me out of that breadhead brat, and then you put me in here. How'd you do it? How'd you do? What is this place? What is it? So it's like, it's the boy's mind, you sniveling tanuki. You shut up. At least I'm not sealed in a cage. It's like, come here and see that. What the hell is going on? And it's actually Kurama who comes in. Kurama comes in and says, that blasted fruit you ate has the ability to take souls through take shadows, and the shadows of connection to the spirits were and he's surprising me very informative, but he's explaining why he has a new roommate, and among all of them, probably one of the ones he hates the most. He explains that because we're tail-based, because we're just beings of chakra, you stole half that chakra. The shadow is basically connection to half our spirit, and so you stole half of that. It's like, so what? You're trying to steal? You're gonna just keep me trapped in here forever? It's like, what? No, I didn't even need to do that. I'll let you out at some point. Just promise you're not gonna try to kill me. But why the hell would I promise that? The minute I get out of here, I'm gonna just kill as many people as I can. It's like, well, then I'm not letting you out. Oh, well, maybe I'm just. Well, that's a really good counter argument. But here's my counter argument. I'm not sealed within you, kid. So I can just kill you and let myself out. All of a sudden, the shadow just goes like, oh, what? And Naruto's like, huh? And all of a sudden, he's just being bounced. Like, what the? Why can't I move? Like he tries to move his sand. And his sand won't even, what the heck is it? He just sees the shadow. And Naruto's shadow is looming behind him. Just, what the heck? And the fox actually does. You idiot! His shadow controls other shadows. He consumed your shadow through his shadow. That means he has complete domination over it. Granted, the kid's not. I'll give the kid this. He has no plans for dominating over us in that way. But that means you can't do a damn thing without him saying so. And just like you, but at least I'm not sealed in him. At least I can still move upon my own free will in here. And so they're just like, Naruto's like, what just happened? And the fox then looks and says, what? So what are you going to plan to do with us, brat? Use our power to become some new pseudo 6. You're gonna hunt us all down now. I don't even know how many of you there are. And to which the fox like, wait, really? You really don't know how many of us there are? I'm the strongest of the tail beasts. I have 9 tails. He's got 1. It's like, wait, so there's 9 of you? because this would be Naruto level intellect right now. It's like, ugh. And who the hell's the Sage of Six Paths anyway? Never mind about that. Just get out of here, brat. Ugh. And so, yeah, Naruto's got half a Shukaku sealed in him. Is this something I will bring up later on? Oh, absolutely, because he probably has some extra abilities because of that. Because I have a feeling Tail Beast chakra being absorbed eaten into your shadow probably doesn't work the same way as humans. Because Naruto really hasn't been gaining any real chakra from eating his own shadows at all. That's just his own energy going back in there. And he really hasn't used it on anyone else, save, I believe, Haku temporarily, as I had him do that to knock him out. And that's it. And even then, he gave the shadow back afterwards. But this is the first time he's actually absorbed something with a shadow, or had eaten a shadow that has a lot of excess abilities to it, including curse markings, magnet release, and a lot more chakra. So, yeah. We're going to see a very different story for Naruto coming up here, and possibilities that come with that story. So anyway, that is where, to really just sum it up real quick, Jiraiya would still be recruiting Naruto to go find Tsunade. Naruto, at least at the beginning of that, would be acting relatively normal, although he'd be talking about the headache he's having because Shukaku won't shut up sometimes. And he even explains what happened in the fight with them. And Jiraiya is now, like, actually stunned. Like, wait, what? You did what? I mean, you told me you could do this, but I didn't think you could steal. Technically I can steal anything with a shadow. It's just, I didn't think that would happen. And now I've got this idiot Tanuki just screaming in my ear. I have brain half the time. Granted, it's not as bad as how Gaara made it out to be, and I can kind of just shut him up at points, but still. And Jiraiya's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to really consider this. But I'll teach you a cool technique regardless with the Rasengan. And Naruto will also note his chakra control has now just gone straight to shit. Like, he doesn't even want to. The next time he tries to summon his shadow, it's like just bulging and kind of like, because there's so much excess chakra in there now that he's just like, ugh. Because that's one of the things he's using to keep his shadow in check to the appropriate size that he wants it to be, is his chakra control. And while that was improving, now it's just shot to shit with all the excess chakra in there. But we'll get to more of that in part 8. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks for the next one. Have a good one.